Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I thank the committee for taking action on the bipartisan Advancing Targeted Therapies for Rare Diseases Act, and I am very grateful to Senators Burr, Hatch, and Bennett for working collaboratively to try to get this bill developed to help get safe and effective drugs to patients with rare genetic diseases. But I want to pick up on Senator Burr's larger point. The need for strong biomedical innovation is urgent, and we should be honest here. A handful of smaller targeted changes like we're voting on today won't get us where we need to be. Democrats and Republicans have been working together for nearly a year to develop a package to strengthen the FDA and to dramatically boost funding for NIH, the twin pillars of advancing real medical innovation. I am very worried that this bigger effort is in jeopardy for two reasons. First, some Republicans seem to want to use this discussion as an opportunity to neuter the FDA. This is not only wrong-headed, it is reckless. The goal of high FDA standards is to incentivize development of innovative products, transformative products, safe and effective products, products that will cure disease, save money, and save lives. Our goal should not be to weaken the standards so that giant corporations can increase their profits by selling dangerous or useless drugs to the American people. Democrats are willing to support reasonable changes to improve the FDA, but if Republicans are determined to gut the agency under the guise of improving it, then get ready for a fight on this. The second reason I'm worried is because we do not yet have an agreement to include significant investments in research. In hearing after hearing, Democrats have called for mandatory NIH funding as part of any legislative package because big medical breakthroughs don't come from tweaking the process over at FDA. Big medical breakthroughs come from increasing basic research. And that's where we're falling dangerously behind. Adjusted for inflation, Congress's investment in NIH over the last dozen years has been cut by 20%. Young researchers can't get their first grants funded until they are middle-aged, and many are either leaving the field or going to other countries to work. We need this research, and I just want to list one example. Last year, this country spent a collective $226 billion caring for people with Alzheimer's. We have nothing to offer, no cure, no treatment, no way to slow it down. And costs spent on Alzheimer's are growing fast enough to eventually bankrupt us. Huge costs, but last year, NIH was only able to spend 0.2% of this amount on research. This is nuts. It is cruel to families, and it is financially irresponsible for our country. Last year, Congress increased NIH's budget by about 7% for 2016, and that is good. But get real. That increase is a drop in the bucket compared to what's needed to repair years of underfunding and help us remain the world leader. Last year, Newt Gingrich said the way to deal with exploding healthcare costs is to double NIH funding. At a forum here in the Senate, he told me, quote, "To allow research funding to languish at a time of historic opportunity to save lives and save money takes a special kind of stupidity that is reserved for this city." I agree. Sure, heading into an election year, it would be easier to pass some small bills, call it medical innovation, declare victory, and quit. We cannot punt this to some vague promise to add funding later on. This committee can and must include mandatory funding in any innovations bill. I am tired of pretending. Until we can get bipartisan agreement on a package to strengthen the FDA and to fund NIH, I will not support any more so-called innovation legislation in this committee. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.